First of all, I would like to apologize. For those of you who know me really well, you know two things about me. One, that I have a horrible memory, and two, that I'm the worst storyteller there possibly could be. So I'm very sorry, but I won't be sharing any embarrassing stories tonight. Rest assured, though, my counterparts will be taking care of that. I think I know most of you here tonight pretty well, but I do see some unfamiliar faces. So for those of you who may not know, and maybe you can't tell, because over the years, much to both of our relief, we've grown to look less and less alike. So in case you weren't aware, not only is the bride my sister, she's also my twin. And you know what they say about twins, twice the love, half the sleep. I think my parents would certainly agree. My sister and I were truly a handful, and if you don't understand how a woman can both love her sister dearly and want to wring her neck at the same time, then you were probably an only child. No matter what, she's always been my best friend. I've always thought that I can't imagine how some people can go on for years or even months or weeks or days without speaking to their siblings. Even after the most explosive of our fights, we can barely stay apart for more than a couple of hours. I can't begin to reflect on our moments together. We would be here all night. But from playing dress up in my mom's clothes when we were toddlers, to picking out your wedding dress, and everything in between, I've had the funnest and craziest times of my life with you, and I wouldn't change a thing. I have seen the best of you and the worst of you, and I choose both. There's been times when I've been resentful of having to share everything in my life with another human being, right down to my birthday. But the older I get, the more I realize just how lucky I am. Everyone who knows us well knows that we're always together. There's so many memories that we've shared. She knows all of my deepest secrets. She can read my thoughts and feelings without me having to say a word. She'll always judge me, usually quite openly and unabashedly. But I guess that's what sisters are for, and I can always count on her to be painstakingly honest with me. That's called tough love, and there's something annoying yet strangely comforting about it. We are like in so many ways, yet two worlds apart, but I think when it comes down to our fundamental values, we remain inseparable because we share one common denominator, a big soft spot for love. Oh, sorry, I lost Okay, a big soft spot for love. I thank my parents for that, for teaching us the true meaning of unconditional love. We've always shared that deep-rooted passion for our family, our friends, our pets, and now for you, your husband. If I could have one wish for you both, I hope you never lose that. Stephen, I couldn't think of a better person to take my sister's place as my sidekick. There's so many great things I can say about you. You're truly one of the kindest, thoughtful, and most generous people I've ever been lucky enough to know. Not only do you care for my sister with this utmost devotion and commitment, but from day one, you've embraced her family and friends with the same heartfelt sentiments. One of the things I've always appreciated the most about you, Stephen, is that in the millions of arguments and fights you've come to witness between my sister and I, over the course of the last few years, you will never blindly take my sister's side. You'll tell her when she's wrong, which is 90% of the time. But you'll always do your best to help us to understand each other better, to appreciate each other more, and to strengthen the incredible bond that we have with each other, to show us how lucky we are to have one another. I'll always be grateful for that, and I know that's one of the things she loves the most about you. For the past 6.5 years, you've truly been like a brother to me. Today only makes it official. And today I watched two of my favorite people officially marry each other. I couldn't be happier for you both. I love you, and lastly, I want to share one of my sisters and my favorite quotes with you all. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." Look what happens with a love like that. It lights up the whole sky. May you always be that light in each other's lives.
So I also want to introduce myself because if some of you didn't know Seda, then you probably also don't know me. So my name is Veronica, and I have been best friends with both Nujat and Seda since we were in elementary school. And to me, both of them were the sisters that God cheated me of and that life gifted me. Nujat and I shared the same classes in junior high school. We became inseparable right from the beginning. We talked about the silly things that all girls talk about at that age, makeup, and boys, and movies. And when was the next time we would make a mall trip? The mall was a favorite hangout. And then we both got into Brooklyn Tech, and our friendship only grew stronger. We got older and shared more, but we certainly didn't grow wiser, not in high school. No, we got dumber in high school. And we got smarter after that. Through all of that, ups and downs, we remained close and share all our secrets and our hopes and our joys and our disappointments too. We dated and we shared that too. Well, we didn't share the guys though. No, I mean we shared the stories. Don't misunderstand me. So I can tell you I know Nuja very well. And when it comes to love, Nuja has this uncanny way to be so romantic that I've always envied and admired. She's thoughtful and writes amazing poems and beautiful cards. And it's a way of showing love that truly radiates in the most sincere way. But let me tell you one thing that Nuja is not about, or was truly never about: cooking. Now, I remember when she and Steven started dating and she told me she was cooking him these elaborate meals. I'm like, oh my God, something she's never done before? Now, I know this shit was real. No, but seriously, all kidding aside, if you've been around these two, you know what true love is all about. They both complement each other in the best of ways and give the rest of us hope that there's true love out there and that such joy is attainable. But you know, I bet now you're wondering where's the juice, right? I've been talking now for a few minutes, no embarrassing stories, a Seder reference, and boy, oh boy, God knows I have plenty. But nope, my lips are sealed. Come on now, I just told you you're like a sister to me. You really think I'm gonna give you an embarrassing story? Not a chance. You know, for those of you that are interested, you hit me up after dinner, a couple of drinks. Let me give you some one-on-one, but certainly not up here. But what's a good speech with a good story, right? So yes, I'm gonna give you a story. But it's not about the bride, it's about the groom. You like that twist, don't you? So when Nuja and Steven started dating, she was swept off her feet immediately, cloud nine, the whole works. And while I was very happy for her, I wanted to know what's the deal with him. So we were out one night for Steven's birthday, and we all had a little bit of drinking. And I remember I kept thinking, this guy is just too good. He's too perfect. What's wrong with him? Is he real? What is going on? So what better than to ask, right? So I did. I remember at one point we were all standing there, and he was kind of alone, so I just went up to him, and we started chatting up. You know, and I said, you know, you seem like a really good guy, and Nuja is, you know, my best friend. And I don't want her getting hurt. I hope that you're real, you know? And I imagined the typical response to be, no, I'm not gonna hurt her, or no, don't worry, I would never, I hope she doesn't. But all of a sudden, he turns to me, he said very simply, you know, I hope she doesn't hurt me. Aww. He said, I hope she doesn't hurt me. I thought it was the sweetest, most sincere response that someone could give to that question. Because it not only acknowledged that he was not going to hurt her, but in fact that he cared about her so deeply already that she could hurt him. Now we all know how hard it is for people to be vulnerable, especially men. And for someone to admit that they can be hurt by another so simply and so openly, well, that's when I knew it was real. Seda shared a quote before, so I'm going to add one in there. She's not going to outdo me now. And it's by one of Nuja's favorites, Mr. Freud. We are never so vulnerable as when we love. That night, you showed vulnerability, Steven, and I know that Nuja fell in love with you because of it. I also know that you have made her vulnerable and open in ways that she never was before, much more than just cooking. You're both amazing people to each other, to your friends and to your family, and deserve a life of happiness and love. I'm honored to be here and to share this amazing night with you and many more memories to come. I will now leave you with this. Continue to love each other more and more, and may you always continue to stay vulnerable. I love you both.
Aww.
I really don't know how to follow any of that up. Other than to say, Nudra, remember all those times that you humiliated me and embarrassed me in front of everybody? I'm about to get back at you. Just kidding. Well, hello everybody. My name's Juan, and when they first asked me, when Nudra first asked me to be the man of honor, I said, no, that's super gay, I'm never going to do that. Then, you know, I'd give a lot of thought and whatnot. I said, there's no way I could not do that because of everything we've shared. But I'll get to that in a minute. For those of you who don't know me, I'm going to share a little bit about myself. You know, I was the only guy in a family of 4 kids, so I had 3 sisters. always been surrounded by women my whole life. You know, my mom, my sisters, you know, even my friends, you know, some of whom are here today. But I don't know why, but that's always been the norm. So as a result, you know, when I was growing up, I was a little reserved, you know, shy, quiet, whatnot, kept to myself. And it really didn't bug me for a long time. But, you know, when I started junior high, I said, you know, I'm kind of getting older, you know, I need to kind of get into sports, you know, be one of the guys or whatnot. You know, that's going to change this year. So then the first day of school, I sat next to New Drop. So that didn't work out. I remember thinking to myself, I took one look at her and I said, great, out of all the people that I could have sat next to, I sit next to this weirdo. And by the look on her face, she was probably thinking the same thing, you know? And little did we know that, you know, we were actually kindred spirits, you know? We joked about this many times. We're you know, to use the much abused term, you know, we're in a way soulmates. Not in the same way that her and Steven are, but just in the way that we're like, I don't know, with the three of us and Veronica, the four of us, we always manage to finish each other's sentences, same stupid, snarky humor, dumb jokes, you know. We've always gotten each other, you know. And who would have thought that 20 years later, you know, we'd all be in this room, you know, sharing this important milestone with you, you know. And it's one that I feel extremely honored to be a part of. You know, I love you, Nudra. I've seen you grow into an accomplished person, evolve into a mature individual, and just become an all-around, well-rounded woman, you know? However, the best part about our friendship, you know, is that when we get together, because I live 1,500 miles away, you know, when we get together, it's like time never passed. We're still corny 14-year-old teenagers that laugh at stupid jokes, you know, on the subway, getting on people's nerves, you know? So that's great. I love that we have that bond and that we've shared that throughout the years, you know? And what's even better, though, is that now our circle of friends and family tonight has magnified exponentially by the union between you and Steven. You know, Steven, who I liked from the get-go, you know, who I told Nudra, yeah, he's a keeper, he's a cool guy, you know? And that, by the way, is one of the greatest things about this marriage for me. I'm being selfish now. You know, the reason I say that is because Nudra is and has always been like a fourth sister. You know, just like Seda, wherever she is, has been my fifth sister, and Veronica, and Yvette, and so on and so forth. But now that you guys are married, you know, I actually get a brother that I've always wanted, which is Steven. So I'm really excited about that, bro. You know? But on the flip side, you're stuck with us weirdos now. But anyway, I don't want to bore everybody to sleep, and so I'll go ahead and finish my speech. But just like the other two, I wanted to go ahead and end the speech on a quote. And this is from one of our favorite movies, which, you know, is aptly titled My Best Friend's Wedding. So anyway, one of the main characters towards the end of the movie says, if you love someone, you say it. You say it right then, out loud. Otherwise, the moment passes you by. So with those words in mind, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, out loud, so that everybody can hear it. I love you both to death, and I want nothing but happiness for you, now and always. Thank you.